Hey Pilot, Skip here. Going over the timber here, some normal maintenance, normal wear and tear. No crashes or nothing. A couple of, rough landings, a couple of bounces there. But I'm going to scoot in here and show you guys some, some problem areas here. And a lot of these, everybody's becoming a little bit of aware of. I'm going to try to get the camera here kind of still so we can see this. Most of the problems here, guys, a lot of people are having are with these springs and the slips. You know, they come out, the catches and the stays. But what I wanted to show you is a couple other things. This little plastic piece in here is kind of, well, it's I wouldn't count on it working all the time. When I got the thing, one of the screws was stripped. But just to put a little nylon binder around there is a quick fix for that. The other problem areas, guys, you're going to see are down in these plastic components. And the wings down here, which are actually supposed to be keeps that keep the landing gear from going all the way, from flexing back this way, tend to break off and snap off. And they have actually on this model on this side, and that was from a pretty, I caught a kind of part of the pavement coming in, grass pavement right there at that transition point. And you'll see there's a little separation here sometimes too. So you may want to reinforce these if and when you need to replace these. Components are replaceable wherever you bought your plane, Motion RC or Power Hobby, wherever you got your plane, probably carry the replacement parts for these components. And the springs, I was going to show you guys a quick tip on these things, and then you'll notice sometimes after flying this a while, the wheels, want to look like this, and I'm thinking something's bent, right? Well, it's not really bent, but the wheels are kind of getting loose and sloppy on the hubs. One side worse than the other, actually, on this particular one. And all we're going to do with that is snug the wheels around the rim with a little bit of foam tack glue, and that's going to fix that problem. What I wanted to show you guys here was these keeps, because the springs are out of stock right now, and unless you've broken the spring, you don't necessarily have to replace it. But getting these things back in place is a real simple deal. You can just take a pair of needle nose, or sometimes maybe they're loose enough to just turn. Basically, they're, look at this as being a slip nut on the outside of a big bolt. Okay, so you can grab these things, but pretty much from both sides. It's a one-piece unit that's in there, and when you turn one side, the other side turns. But you can usually twist these right back in, all the way up to that locked in position up in the front, and you'll notice that the spring actually does get a little stiffer again. And then the same on the other side, but they tend to just kind of work themselves loose. And again, you can just rotate this thing. Now I had to use a pair of needle nose on this side to get them back in place, and it was just simply, don't squeeze the spring, just kind of catch the end tabs of this and give it a twist, and you can get it right back up into its slot where it's supposed to be. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell how to solve that problem. Okay, and here's a real good example. I'll get it right up in the front over here, holding onto the back of this one here. I take that back, they're not one piece, guys. They are two pieces, but hold on to the back of it or you'll turn them both. But so you get one set in spot, and then simply give this a little turn, and you'll be able to walk that. Well, I've got this one bent out pretty bad, but you'll be able to walk that right back up into the spot here. Because they're supposed to be up in the top. I'm going to have to get on this one with a little bit of extra torque here. But, see, and it does go. It will go. And then what I'll do here, because I've overbent this spring here, is I'll give it a little tweak down. And just kind of pull the spring down a little bit. Should have grabbed like a pair of channel locks. And once you get that like that, you can usually turn this around. Oh, it worked fine before when I thought about the idea of showing you guys. It's going. Okay, and then basically there. See, and it stiffens them back up again. But you get that spring back in there so you get that full flex like you should have. And rock solid. Now, as far as the wheels and the tires are concerned, where I was having a problem is right here, and let's see, try to get a little bit better lighting here. I'll try to turn this the other way for you guys. Sorry about this. Okay, I'm going to have to hold the camera here. But as you'll notice, inside there, it separates a little bit from the rim. And it's been catching a little bit of the edge here, so I'm just going to use a little bit of foam tack glue and tack in right around the sides there. And I'll just do that now real quick. And well, here. Let's see how talented I am. Just get a little bit around there, and I'm going to kind of jiggle it around and spin it. Now when that stuff sets up in there, it's going to set up hard, or reasonably hard, and it'll allow you enough time to adjust it to get it kind of straight. And then when it sets up firm, that's going to hold that tire nice and straight on that rim, and you shouldn't have that slop anymore, at least not as bad. When I put the camera down, of course, I'm going to spin it on the rim a little bit so it spreads the glue a little bit, but you guys get the idea. So basically turn the keeps back into position because they are indifferent from each other. So turn the keeps back in to lock your springs. Put a binder on the middle here because even if it works for you guys, trust me, it's begging to fail. These plastic components, they're all replaceable. I have not crashed this, but I had a couple of hard bounces, and it'll do that. It'll break these keeps off here. This one here still has them, but they're breaking already. These guys are broke. Important, don't cover these up, guys, because you gotta get at these screws to take your gear off and be able to put your floats on. Okay, so that was just a couple of quick tips I thought I'd show you guys and share you the pain in the butt with the springs deal, and make sure you put a little binder, a little nylon tie around that center keep, and you won't have a problem. Alright, thanks for watching. Quick tips from Skip here at Skip Built RC. Thanks. Catch you next time.